some Baltic birch plywood, a scroll saw, and one very special word, Supermom. This plaque took shape one detail at a time, and in this video, I'll show you how I cut, sanded, glued, and finished it into a meaningful handmade gift. The pattern calls for 1/4 inch material, and I decided to stay with that. And I'm going to make this on 1/4 inch Baltic birch plywood. There's the one that says Supermom. That's going to be the front, obviously, and the back is a little larger. And in the pattern, it shows the background with a dark brown color, and then Superman on top of that. And I think that's what I'm going to go with. I used a couple strips of double-sided tape to attach two pieces of 1/4 inch Baltic birch plywood together so I can make two at a time. I decided to start cutting with the easy part first, the back. Sometimes it's a good idea to warm up before starting the more difficult cuts. I have two 1/4 inch Baltic birch plywood sheets held together with double-sided tape, so I'm using a number 5 Pegasus modified geometry blade. A number 3 blade would work, but the number 5 will be faster, and there are no intricate cuts on this piece that might dictate a smaller blade. I started at the angled edge cut. When I came to the point where a turn was needed, I decided to take the easy way. Since this was near the edge of the workpiece, I just kept cutting until the blade ran off the edge of the board, and then I started cutting again from the edge. I could easily have made the turn, but doing it this way ensures a perfectly angled corner. I don't think there's any shame in taking an easy way to make a cut when you can. This next bit of cutting was simply a matter of following the line and letting the blade do the work, the essence of scroll sawing. The next section of the cut contains 4 90-degree corners, which is a bit difficult to do when you're new at scroll sawing, but it is a skill you must learn to become successful on the scroll saw. I'll walk you through how I make these turns. There is an easy way. Since the outer cut line is near the edge of the wood, I could have cut straight across, then come back and made only 2 inside 90-degree cuts. But I didn't. This time I did it the hard way. 1, because I can, and 2, because the purpose of this channel is to teach others how to learn to use the scroll saw. I cut along the line until I reached the point where I needed to change the direction 90 degrees. When I reached that point, I lessened the pressure on the board that feeds it into the blade. With the blade still running, I rotated the workpiece 90 degrees into the new cutting direction, then resumed pressure to resume cutting. I cut in the new direction until I reached the next corner, and then repeated the same process at each corner. I'm halfway around already, and the second side is a mirror image of the first, so I'll skip showing that cut, and then move on to the more difficult and important front part of the project. I used scroll saw tape to attach the pattern to the wood, and as you can see, it peels off easily. The double-sided tape held very well, so I'll come back to prying those two pieces apart later. Now we're at the main event, the front part of the pattern. This requires many inside cuts, and that may be intimidating to a new scroller. Don't worry, I'm here to guide you through the process. Once again, I have 2 pieces of plywood held together with tape so I can cut 2 parts at a time. As always, I'm starting with the interior cuts. This leaves a large workpiece to hold onto until the end and maintains structural integrity as long as possible as well. I usually start cutting at the top and work my way down and across as if I were reading a book. For this long piece, I cut from the pilot hole to the corner, back to the pilot hole, and then back into the corner. Why? Because with the blade now facing inward, the turn is much easier than if I hadn't made the extra move. Try it, you'll see what I mean. The end is short and it comes to an easy angle to cut, followed by a very long straight cut. The scroll saw is great for curves, but not so much for straight lines, so don't get mesmerized and stray off the line. The next angle should be an easy one, followed by another short straight line. Here's how I did the next angle. I cut to the corner, and then I backed up slightly and used the saw curve just created, plus the waste area, to allow the blade to run while I pivoted the workpiece to the new cutting direction. Then I was able to make the second long line, but this one isn't straight. There are lots of little curves to follow to create the tops of the letters below. Depending on the type of patterns you decide to cut, you may find yourself spending a considerable amount of time cutting letters. and that's what I'll be doing next. I have cut many letters during my years of scroll sawing, and I believe I can pass along some valuable tips. One of my general rules when cutting letters is to cut slightly inside the lines rather than on the lines, as you do with most parts of a pattern. This is because you want to ensure adequate spacing between the letters, and especially between parts of letters like the O, because otherwise you'll just have a big round or oval hole instead of a letter. The letters in this pattern will be easier to cut than most because they're mostly curves with a few right angles. So once you start cutting, you just keep following the line and letting the blade do the work. Another thing unusual about this pattern is that all the letters except the M's are cut in 2 or 3 parts. The M's will be the most difficult to cut, so I'll be sure to show how to make them. I was tempted to edit out the next few seconds, but then I decided to leave it in. I've been cutting for some time, and the blade gradually worked its way loose from the bottom holder. You can see I was startled when that happened, but this incident illustrates at least 2 points. The first is that the blade needs to be held securely in both the upper and lower holders, and you need to periodically check them for tightness. I must not have done so. The second point is that this machine is very safe because there was no possibility of being injured when the blade came loose. Cutting the U illustrates just how nicely this font flows. From the pilot hole, which I drilled strategically, it was just a short distance to the upper left of the letter. What would have been a 90-degree turn with most fonts is a flowing curve here, and the same is true of the rest of the letters, except the M. You can just keep gently moving the workpiece from the beginning until the end brings you around again. In fact, watching myself make that cut to describe it to you is having an almost hypnotic effect. I'm getting sleepy. Seriously, scroll sawing requires patience because the craft is capable of producing extremely detailed projects. Speaking of detail, I'm using a lighted magnifier, and I strongly recommend you add this accessory to your shop. I provided a link in the description to Bearwood Supply, my source for the Pegasus scroll saw, Pegasus modified geometry blades, and just about any other accessory you might need. If you use the link, I'll receive a small commission on any purchase that you make. There's no need for me to describe cutting every letter because they're so similar, and I would exhaust your patience long before I was done cutting. So let's move on to the M's, which are a bit challenging. While all the other letters featured curves where directional changes took place, the 2 M's each have numerous right angle turns. I started at the top of the first M, and I cut from the pilot hole to the upper left-hand corner. I backed to the pilot hole, then I made the cut along the short lower line. That brought me to a 90-degree corner. I stopped cutting at the intersection, backed the blade up almost imperceptibly, and pivoted the workpiece 90 degrees to the next direction I wished to cut. I left the blade running while I was doing this because it was able to maneuver using the saw blade curve just created, plus some of the waist area. Cutting 90-degree corners or other sharp angles is a skill you'll have to develop if you want to master scroll sawing. Those cuts removed a small triangle of material from the top of the M, and then I had a short straight run across the top left of the letter. The next turn was for a large obtuse angle, and that was an easy one to make. But that took me to a sharp, acute angle in the middle of the M. I could have tried to turn the workpiece to make the turn, but I most likely would have ended up with a curve rather than a sharp point. The way I've learned to cut intersections like this is to keep cutting, go past the turning point, use the waist area to make the turn, and then come back and start cutting again right at the point. Making the rest of the letter M is now a matter of repeating the steps I've already done. The right side of the M is a mirror image of the left, so I just applied the same steps in reverse order. I could tell the blade was getting dull, so after cutting the first M, I replaced the blade. The telltale signs of a blade getting dull are that cutting slows down, it may start to burn the wood, and sometimes you'll start to feel additional vibration. When any of these signs develop, find a logical place to stop, like completing the letter you're currently cutting, and then replace the blade. Scroll saw blades are relatively inexpensive, and it's better to replace a dull blade than to potentially ruin a project into which you've already invested time and material. I finished cutting the letters, which left an area below Mom, another in the middle between the letters, and finally the exterior cut. I used a couple of tricks to remove the bottom section. The first was when I cut from the pilot hole to the sharp point on the bottom, back to the pilot hole, turned the blade 180 degrees, and back through the newly created kerf so the dull side of the blade faced the pilot hole. The reason? This allowed me to make an easy turn, which would have been difficult to make cleanly if the blade had been facing the other direction. Then I followed that diagonal line to a corner where it would have had another difficult area to cut. Here I backed up a little through the curve the saw blade had just made, then moved the blade through the waist area to line it up with the shortcut that would complete the angle. A small triangle of waste popped out, making it easy to maneuver the blade through empty space to make the next cut. When I arrived at the next turning place, another piece of scrap popped out, and I could easily make the turn into the curve on the bottom side of the O. After that, I didn't have any more tips or inside cuts, and the exterior cut didn't need any explanation. I've already demonstrated everything you need to know to make that cut. The pattern pulled right off because I attached it with scroll saw tape. Prying the pieces apart proved a bit vexing, but I found a gap, inserted a small screwdriver, and separated them. Be careful not to break anything at this step if your pattern has delicate parts. I picked the double-sided tape off with a fingernail, and then I was ready to paint and glue the front and back together. Here's the finished Supermom plaque, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. The dark backer gives the lettering some nice contrast, and the layered design makes a simple piece of Baltic birch plywood feel like a meaningful handmade gift. If you're new to scroll sawing, this project gives you good practice with inside cuts, sharp turns, and cutting letters. If you found the video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below. I'd love to know if you make one of these for your mother and the occasion on which you give it to her. Even better, let me know what she thought of it.